On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, it's the return of the Impossible Music Challenge. And while Big D is not here to share in the misery, well, I got some great replacements. I got the local geek, JS Gunslinger, and of course, Rudeboy Kyle are all coming in, and let's see how they do on this Impossible Music Challenge. And we're going to have some other great times. So be prepared to laugh, be prepared to poke the bear, be prepared for some ranting. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and V. Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that pays for the sins of its past by punishing ourselves today. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the guy who decided to adjust his camera right at the last second, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Titter, how you doing tonight?
Well, Howard Blues, they don't call me the man, the myth, legend for nothing. I mean, last-minute preparations right in the nick of time so that we are here in 100% live, living Technicolor Dreamcoat technology-esque things. Whew! I would say that it's been something, but that's your line, and I'm going to let you say that because, well, you have things to say, and we have time to do it. But before we get there, and I ask you how you're doing, I'd love to introduce, because tonight we are not only here by ourselves, but we actually have some personalities joining the show tonight. And it's the race to the top of the list of the most appearances. And the two people vying for the number one spot happens to be Rudeboy Kyle and the local geek himself. Gentlemen, good evening to you.
It's good to be here. Hi.
Don't all say anything at once. Good.
I was going to say, we're going to have that awkward pause as they try to decide which one of us is supposed to say hi first.
Who should say first?
I was going to let Rude Boy go first since Mark said his name first.
Oh. Well. Good.
Awkward pauses aside, how are you?
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, local geek, how are you?
I'm pretty good. It's been...
It's been what?
I've had a good week this week, so it hasn't been a week.
Okay. I think somebody else has something along with that.
Yeah, boy, do I got some stories, because, gentlemen, it's been a week.
There it is.
Ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
Soon this segment's going to get its own, like graphic package, music, all of the, but that's more of a year 3, thing. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
You just need it's been a week counter.
Show. Has it been a week? Bing! Yep, it certainly has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe just a little lower third that pops up, kind of like Booker T's,
Shuck-a-duck-it, quack, quack, moment of the night.
Yeah, something like that. It just pops up.
Yeah.
Some ominous music as it comes out.
Yeah. Oh man, where to start? Let's start with okay. You want to do what's on tap first?
We have to, because then we have breaking news.
Oh,
and it's good. It's very good to have a beverage in hand, a couple sips there, because then you start the good times in case the breaking news does not hit your world appropriately. So we need to get it going right away. Go. I don't know who needs to go, but I need a moment to choose and think about what I need to drink. So one of the three of you, or all three of you, need to go first.
Well, while our diva host works out what beverage he's going to have, local geek, why don't we go with you first? Right. Shots fired. It's going to be a good night.
Jeez.
I'll kick it off. First of all, I'm going to point out I am not using the Beer Blues BS glass tonight. Reason being, I am drinking beer from the Beaver Creek Brewery, so I thought it was more fitting to put it in their glass. I'm having their Rusty Beaver Wheat, which is obviously a wheat beer.
A bit rusty. Get your tetanus shot lately?
Yeah, a couple years ago. But yeah, it's one of my favorite beers from there. My all-time favorite is Paddlefish Stout. If you go to the brewery and order that one, you get a cookie with it. So, there's a little perk to go into the brewery. And that's in Weeble, Montana.
So we're about two and a half hours.
Yep. I was there last weekend and I picked up a growler of that, and my dad wanted a growler of their IPA, so I got that. And then I picked up a couple cans I'll get to you guys too. So
Oh man, spoiled indeed. So if you get a growler, because that's more than a couple pints, do they give you like a 12-pack of cookies for the road, or
no, you don't get anything to go with them.
So why not?
Because it's still good beer.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you could make your own cookies or buy some at Walmart.
Money and time. I got trucking to do. Okay. How does it taste? I know you said you like it, but
yeah, it's fairly smooth. It doesn't have a real strong hop bite. It's got just that nice balanced bitterness to it that you would expect out of a wheat beer, really. Overall smooth. Flavor wise, pick up mostly the weedy flavor off of it. I think this one sits at like 7% alcohol, so it's on the higher end.
Rudeboy Kyle, what are you drinking this evening?
I have a Pendleton Western whiskey with a splash of Coke. So
just enough to change the color of the glass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen,
to borrow Howie's line, it has been a couple of weeks, and next week's going to be probably about the same. So
be another one.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not throwing shade at your glass of whiskey with a slight tainting of cola, but I like drinking the whiskey either way.
Yeah.
A full glass by itself or with a slight additive. change the Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I had to. It was worth the change of pace, but straight on ice, the smoke infusion or a little bit of mixer with the Coke is all good on my street. So, or
in the backyard.
Yeah,
with a 12-foot flame.
Kidder, speaking of backyards, I now have a bar in my backyard because Old 10 opened up right near my house.
Yes.
And since we're speaking whiskey, I happen to notice their drink menu does have an old-fashioned.
Yeah. I have words for that. They can almost not be said on this show anymore because apparently we're going family friendly. And so it'd have to be bleeped for probably 10 minutes because I do not know who created their cocktail menu, but it is definitely not an old-fashioned.
For those who haven't seen it, it's
5
got cherries in it.
And muddled fruit. You don't muddle anything in an old-fashioned. What? I almost did it. What's wrong with you? I almost lost it. Howard? Why are you pushing my buttons? We're 10 minutes into the show.
Because we're doing the Impossible Music Challenge, and that is just always going to make me salty.
It just sounds like Mark needs his own Sam Kinison style segment that is its own show that you can just have the beeps ready to go. And we can start with episode 1 of that special series of old-fashioned recipes. Because
when we get a little bit bigger of a show, I think we should start a Patreon. And one of the levels is, you get Kidder's uncensored rant about whatever he feels like for the week. Whether it's cherries or muddled fruit and old-fashioned, whether it's the current season of Star Trek Discovery, whatever it is, you get the rant, uncensored, no beeping, just pure unadulterated rage.
A shoutcast instead of a podcast,
right?
I'm talking at you.
Why not kick that off now? I think people would pay for that.
Kind of like the city's obsession with roundabouts and putting roundabouts in places where a perfectly good intersection could be put in its place.
You'd rather come to a complete stop and wait for 3 other idiots to wave you by? And
no, that's what it is now, because it's a 4-way stop. What I want is 5-lane traffic, because the part of it is the improvement in the area, and we have a high enough traffic volume in the overall area where it's worthy of 2 lanes in each direction with a center left turn lane. So it's a 5-lane roadway and a traffic signal, because there's a 50% chance I can hit the light to go through it and not have to worry about anything, versus dealing with all of these idiots who do not know how to use a roundabout coming to stop. Howard's smiling right now because the rant has already started. People.
Episode 2, Roundabouts.
He's just trying to figure out how much he can charge for this.
About true, Fitty.
Little bit of that, little bit of the the fact that I actually enjoy roundabouts. So
of course, because he gets stuck in them and he keeps going in circles for hours and causing problems.
Listen, I got kids. It's cheap entertainment. We just go around in circles and we all go wee.
Do the one up in your neighborhood then. Get that crap out of here. Keep it miles away. I don't want to come near a freaking roundabout. Get them out of here. They're good for like England and other temperate climates where there's no ice and snow. Get out of here.
You know,
I need a drink. What are you having? I'm thirsty. News that is breaking.
I was just gonna say, Kidder, this reminds me of a certain episode where I forget even what I wanted to mention about roundabouts. It had, I think it was a question about. It was some question about it, and I didn't even get to ask the question, which actually was to set up a punchline, because you and JS both just went off, and then there were so many expletives that we've never been able to air that segment. So, which was sad, because it was a really good joke and punchline, and I'm still a little bitter about it, which is maybe why I bust your chops about roundabouts.
Hey man, you bring it up, and I'm just going to start laying the F-bombs. I mean, it's really your choice on how you want this to go. Cut it out or leave it in, because there's a 2-direction thing here. We're at a proverbial crossroads in the highway.
So let me just circle it back around to what I have on tap here. I'm drinking local. I have a brew here from Laughing Sun Brewing Company. It is their Space Pro Peaches and Cream. Their sour ale with peaches and lactose. I was excited. I saw this.
Peaches?
I saw this when they posted this on Facebook that they had brewed this, and I was excited I could get a can. It's 5% alcohol by volume. It's a sour ale with peaches and lactose. Tasting notes include peaches, vanilla notes, and tart. So I'm excited. I'm excited to try this. I can smell the peach. It's good. It's good. You know, that's not bad. That's actually really good.
I like how it went from not bad to really good.
Well, the aftertaste kicked in. It's all right. You
got a little bit of the cream.
It's a distinct lacking of the Toews flavor.
It's not quite as good as Distill's key lime pie sour. I think that still is at the top of my sours, but this is pretty good. It's like a really nice tart peach drink. A lot of times in the mornings, if I don't have coffee or I need something stronger than coffee, I grab by Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew has their energy drink line, and they have a kind of a peach mango drink, and that's kind of mine of choice. And that's kind of what this reminds me of, a little bit sour version of that, not quite as smooth, but it's good. It's good. I would probably give this probably about a 4. So enjoyable.
Nice.
And now that I have talked about my drink and have gotten Kidder upset that we're still not to his breaking news, which is now old news and therefore no longer relevant. Kidder, what are you having tonight?
You need to know this news.
He's poking the bear.
I have, poke. I believe this is a local geek special. The sign of the times.
Is that one of the Idaho ones?
The Stute there, 6.8.
Oh, that's one of those South Dakota ones, isn't it?
It's an independent brewery. Yes, here it is. Quality craft takes priority at our brewery. Each batch is expertly made locally in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Which of the Black Hills, we may never know. But it's from the Cohort Craft Brewery. It is a stout, 6.8% ABV, as I mentioned. The sign of the times. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook at Cohort Craft Brewery, and there's no website listed right there. So this one should be a little thick since it's cold outside. More of that white snow junk. We'll have a nice thick 6.8%er that JS would like, but he's not here yet. So I'll feel, oh man, that smells very chocolatey. Local Geek, did you get to have one of these?
I think I have one in my fridge. I haven't tried it yet, but I believe that's the one that he said was one of his favorites, the guy that got him for me.
So right off the top, you get the chocolate scent and a little bit of coffee scent as well. As you taste it, you get that chocolate note. So Howard's really going to love one of these. It really coats your palate. And then that extra kind of coffee bean taste on top of it. So pretty smooth as well for one of these 6.8ers. I think JS would probably fall in love with this. Maybe not as close as one of the alcoholic chocolate drinks over at Thomas and Moriarty's. But man, this is good. So thank you, Local Geek, and your supplier for smuggling this across the border into the Superior Dakota. Appreciate that. Squeak, squeak. But, right. Now that I have a couple sips, pretty tasty. Yeah, that is good. I could see having maybe a chocolate brownie with some chocolate chips in it, or a couple chocolate chip cookies with it.
Serve a cookie on the side of that one, too.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right, so breaking news! The first thing. Newly released information from the TSA, the Transportation Security Administration of the United States. Howard is partially smirking already because he has no idea what this is. Okay. This item is now banned from carry-on luggage items. You cannot take this through security. If you bring it, it must be checked. So you might be thinking, an X-Acto knife like Howard is playing with. Maybe an oversized liquid. Well, no. You may, it definitely a chainsaw thing strapped to a stick, that even if it's fake. That's good. That's a lot of damage. TSA recovered this item in Boise, Idaho last month. And it is now featured as part of the prohibited items of the week. What is it? A shillelagh.
That was like a sci-fi shillelagh almost.
He's there's something else shillelaghing there, I think.
It's a pen.
Use it. Yeah, that's a pen 15.
See, it's a pen, but it opens up.
Okay. Well, the next time you feel like taking your Irish walking stick or cudgel or club, or take Fit Finley on a trip with you, or maybe Hornswoggle, they must check the shillelagh in their baggage because you cannot carry on. You cannot carry it on the plane with you.
I had a D&D character who carried a shillelagh.
And guess what? They can't take that on the plane either.
Well, it's probably a good thing because he liked to beat people with it.
Yeah.
How many planes are in D&D though?
Are we talking like astral planes or
Planes of existence. Yeah, that's what it is. Oof.
That's not the
rough.
setting. I mean, if you're playing like Spelljammer.
I'm sorry, even though the nerdiness level of myself and Rudeboy Kyle of playing the truck simulator, I even have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
D&D setting involves airships.
Oh,
Enough said.
you know, I've got a fun one, Howard, that you might like. It's called the spin-off game is called Bronchosaurus Rex. And it's a D&D style game that is set in the Civil War times, and there are dinosaurs.
This does sound interesting.
It was pretty fun the one time I played it.
Yeah, I'd give that. I'd play that at least once. I'd play that at least once. It can't be as bad as the one post-apocalyptic game I played. That was mostly a really bad GM. I'll tell that story some other time. Kidder's like, I want you to focus on this breaking news, and you guys hijacked it and talking D&D.
It's like you're stuck on a Zeppelin, an airship
Full of lead.
Yeah, went over. Like, yeah.
The humanity.
Speaking of the humanity, the news was released very recently, making it nearly breaking, that the son of a WWE Hall of Famer has now been charged with multiple felonies from the welfare fraud scandal in Mississippi from last year. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? No.
All I know is that Brett Favre is involved.
Correct. So millions of dollars meant to be spent on needy families in the state of Mississippi were allegedly misappropriated, with Green Bay Packers quarterback Brett Favre among the notable figures to have allegedly received this money inappropriately. The former WWE superstar I'm talking about is the son of the $1 Million Man himself. This is Ted DiBiase Jr. So at this point, he has been charged with multiple felonies. Brett Favre not been charged with a crime yet. So, allegedly, DiBiase, along with his father, Ted Sr., and brother, Brett, allegedly received millions of dollars through their business in exchange for services that were not provided. Ever occurred, plus $250,000 through the DiBiase Development Incorporated for motivational speaking engagements. Imagine what we could get with this show. Practically required to receive some welfare funds with the quality of this show. DiBiase was ordered to repay $722,000 as part of a civil lawsuit. DiBiase denied the allegations and asked for the civil suit to be dismissed. DiBiase Jr. allegedly received over $3 million in federal anti-poverty funds to conduct leadership training through Princess Ventures to support inner-city youth through Familiae Orientum, but the services were reportedly not provided. Favre apparently paid the money back, but there's still $228,000 in outstanding interest as of October 2022. On and on, the 40-year-old DiBiase made sporadic appearances for independent wrestling promotions from 2013 through 2017, but he has been retired from full-time wrestling since leaving WWE, at once a two-time World Tag Team Champion. With my son Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton as part of Legacy. Yeah, there you go. Scandalous news on the Triple B. Carry on.
Oh, okay. It's like the laziest transition we've ever had on this show.
Oh, Howard's had a week. Tell us about it.
Hey, that was slightly better. So,
A toss.
yeah. I mean, gosh, I'm trying to decide where to start here because I got a lot of things. I think that the best one, Kidder, and probably the one that you would appreciate the most is my drive to work this morning. Because I don't know if you went out.
Roundabout.
Well, I actually went through two, but that's not the important part of the story.
He went backwards around the same one. Thought it was the second one.
No. Actually, I did go through them twice, but let me tell the story. I don't know if you went out, Kidder, but with all the snow we got, roads were pretty icy this morning in spots. I had to take the kids out to the in-laws because they were watching them today. Part of the road construction last summer, they put 2 roundabouts in on 43rd, which is the route I take out there.
Waste of money.
Got out there, dropped the kids off, got back in the car, was going to head to work, realized I forgot my name badge, which is my way into the building. So I had to go home. So that's why I went through the roundabouts twice, because I took 43rd back. Got my badge, was on my way in. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab some coffee. I'm going to go to the Holiday Station, get the best gas station coffee there is. See? And
I don't know why that's so funny. He went to Holiday.
yeah.
I'm not drunk enough for this.
I don't know. That's debatable. Anyway, so I'm taking Calgary on my way, and there's a spot. I don't know if you've ever driven Calgary, but there's a pretty good hill that comes down, and there's a curve right kind of on the backside of Menards. And as I'm coming down that hill, Kidder, there's 2 cars backing up. One of them out of a driveway, the other one off a guy's lawn, because he had ended up on the lawn, and they weren't the fastest at backing up, so all of us who were coming down the hill, which was a car in front of me, myself, and the school bus behind me, had to start braking so that we weren't going to crash into them as they were slowly repositioning. So the car in front of me went sideways. I started going sideways. Luckily, the guy who had gone on the lawn, when he was trying to get off the lawn, had spun his tires, kicked a bunch of dirt onto a stretch of the ice. So I was able to get traction and stay going the right way, and in such a way that the school bus missed me. So that was great. Get into the Holiday Station, get my coffee, come around, and the guys at the registers are laughing, and they have a view, out their front window of this hill, and they are sitting there watching all of these cars come down and go sideways and having a good chuckle. And they were joking with me about it. And I said, I was one of them. I said, I was the little orange car that went, nearly sideways. Like, oh yeah, we saw you. I said, I had to brake because somebody was backing up, and the assistant store manager goes, oh, that's me. I ended up on the guy's lawn. So that was fun. I did make it to work, made it safely, enjoyed my coffee, but I'm glad that it had melted by the time my workday was done, so that I had easy driving home. So I had that. But the other fun one, Kidder, is let me tell you about elevators. So the biggest bane of my life, or one of the biggest banes of my life for the past year, has been trying to get an elevator to the Stutsman County Courthouse. We're putting in an elevator. We were supposed to be working on it last summer. The project was supposed to be done in November. And we just finally, as of today, we now have an elevator on site. So it took nearly a year for us to get this damn thing. So that's
you're moving up in the world.
Yeah, it's being installed. But the thing is, as long as it took us to do that, an even better story is this past Monday up at the Pembina State Museum, the outreach coordinator got stuck in the elevator. We just got the elevator up there fixed, and he's got a nice, and I'll share it in the edited version of this because Future Howard has the photo where he did a selfie of himself stuck in the elevator a couple of feet above the lobby. So
did you reach out to lend him a hand or something?
No. I didn't find out about it until later, and then I looked on their Facebook post, and there's a pretty good photo of him kind of annoyed because he's stuck in the elevator, and they just got the thing fixed too. So fun times.
You did a blog post about the Stutzman County one last fall, right?
I did.
I thought I remembered reading, and I'm pretty sure you're the one that wrote it.
Yeah, I do get to write for the agency blog every now and then, so I try to put interesting things in there. So,
well, you have at least one reader, so
woohoo!
Local geek, you don't spread yourself too thin. You're the only viewer of this show. We need you to keep going on something that's important. There's other people who read his stuff over there. There's nobody else who watches this.
I only write like a blog post like once every 8 months. It's okay.
Yeah, he's not super time consuming.
Oh
no,
I still have time to get beer to bring to you guys too.
That's true. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
That elevator sounds like the old McVeigh elevator.
It's a little bit nicer than the old one. It's a nice glass elevator, so you can actually watch your entire like ascent and look out at the beautiful Canadian border. It's great. Yeah. Monday I went to Gateway to Science. That was it was kind of interesting to see how that turned out. We kind of mentioned it on the show. I used to work for Gateway to Science, and I got to be involved with a lot of the early design on the new building and the exhibits to go in it. So it was kind of fun to go through and see what ideas I had brought to the table and had worked on that had made the final cut, and which, and what some of the new things were and some of that. So, Local Geek, have you guys gone over and visited Gateway to Science?
We haven't made it there yet.
Well, if you would ever like to go, let us know. Lefty and I, we bought the Family Plus membership, so we can bring guests. So if you guys want to, bring your little guy and try it out sometime.
We'll definitely hitch up some weekend. Maybe we can all go together. Yeah,
I mean, I think it'd be good for Junior to spend some more time with kids his age because, he doesn't go to an actual daycare. So we're trying to work on that whole sharing and playing nice. And
yeah, even with going to daycare, my son has some issues with it. He's pretty good about it, but he definitely has his moments where, no, this is mine.
Yeah, Junior's pretty good with other kids, not with Little Miss, though. When it comes to his sister, he doesn't care. But it's a really cool facility. They did a nice job, and there's some really cool stuff in it. So
cool. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out because I remember I enjoyed it when I was younger. So and that was when it was in Gateway Mall still. So
yeah, there's a part of me that wishes I had stayed with them because if I had, I would be the second employee who had worked in all three of its locations because I worked when it was in the mall. I worked there, and then I worked at it when it was at the Masonic Temple. And so I'm just missing this one. So it would have been me and the executive director would have been the only two.
Go back. Nobody's stopping you.
There's some issues with going back, and it's not like a personnel issues. It's that I make more money and have benefits with the state, and I got kids, so
those are pretty huge things.
Those kind of are, but I wish them luck. It was just, at some point I had family goals and what I wanted to achieve, and I'm doing those. So, but who knows? Maybe when I retire, I'll go work there and get that status.
Volunteer.
Yeah, we'll see. It could be a good gig. Going around teaching kids tricks you can do with the exhibits. Yeah. So, other than that, the other like two really great stories both happened tonight, and I've just got to share because one, I'm kind of a proud dad, and it's kind of great. We had we're working on potty training Junior, which I know local geek will know the pains of this.
Oh yes,
and such.
We actually had we've been doing really good, and yesterday at daycare he did not go a single time on the potty, and so big regression, and of course he lost some privileges over that, and then today he did really, really good and earned them back. But
today we had a huge breakthrough, and that was I was cooking my wife dinner so that she could eat as soon as she got home, and she comes walking in the door and she finds Junior in the bathroom working to pull his pants off because he had decided it's time for me to go to the bathroom, and he was doing it himself. I didn't have to remind him. I didn't have to force him to go. It's like he was just doing it.
nice,
Yeah, I was like, woo!
good job, Howie Jr.
That's a huge deal.
My favorite thing when my son goes on his own, he'll run past us in the kitchen and he'll go, "Don't talk to me," and he'll run into the bathroom. It's like we know what he's doing when he yells, "Don't talk to me."
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. The other moment from tonight, it made me laugh a lot, was I was feeding Little Miss because she was still eating, and all of a sudden I just watched my son go running out of our dining room across to the bathroom, and I'm like, uh-oh, what is this? What problem do we have? And he's gone for a little bit, and he comes back and he's got a tissue, and he's doing that little toddler run, which is always just hilarious. And I'm like, he's got a bit of tissue just had. I'm like, well, okay, maybe you need to blow his nose or something. And a few minutes later, I hear a very panic, "Dad!" He had spilled a drink when my wife had left a partially drank can of bubbly on our dining room table, and he had knocked it over. And his first intuition was, I'm going to clean this up. The problem was he grabbed toilet paper, so it wasn't going to work that well. But I'll give him credit. He at least realized that he was in over his head and called me in for backup, but it was still funny. So and as I wrap up kind of my adventures of the week, we are now joined by the armorer of the Triple B, JS Gunslinger. Welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
Gentlemen, glad to finally be here. I got sucked into going to a movie with the family and the kiddos entire class. So, yeah.
Speaking of toilet training,
that's just the tiny one. At least the big one's figured that out
for now.
Well, you're right. You'll have to excuse the poor quality audio. My headset has vanished, and I don't know where it is.
Gotta put one of those little tracker GPS tags. Strap it onto the side and sit and beeps until you find it.
I'm usually pretty good with that thing, but it has vanished into the void, and it's probably in my wife's car, but that's about as close to a black hole as you can get.
That sucks.
Yeah. Oh, could be worse.
Welcome to the show.
Space joke. Whoosh.
Yeah. If there was something in that one.
One side blown up the other.
Yep.
It's coming and going at the same time. All right.
Screw it. Let's have a beer.
Yep. What are you having?
I brought some. You might have had this on already, but I don't think so. It is a Finnish long drink.
Actually, I remember that one.
I just had it on the episode that came out tonight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You son of a...
Keep talking. Tell us about it.
But I'll tell you, I haven't had that flavor yet. That's the drink I'm going to have next week. So
you had the blue one.
I had the blue one. So you got the other one. So you're still ahead of me on that one.
So this is gin with natural cranberry and juniper berry flavors, carbonation, colored with elderberry. It is 5.5% alcohol by volume. It is titled Finnish Long Drink, The Legend of 1952. And it has a really long legend. Long drink's a top-selling category of alcohol in Finland, now available in America. The roots of the long drink go all the way back to 1952 Summer Games in Finland, when a country of only 4 million people was still recovering from the Second World War. Concerned with how to serve drinks quickly enough to all the visitors, the government commissioned the creation of a revolutionary new liquor drink, and so the first long drinks were born. Now this legendary taste has been finally brought to America by the next generation of Finns who want the world to experience the refreshing and unique Finnish long drink.
I think I had one of those on the year anniversary, if I remember right.
It is bottled by the Long Drink Company of Kannapolis, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, so we got a North Carolina beer here, I think.
It's not a beer.
Whatever.
But it's not a beer. It doesn't go on the list.
And I've had it before and I liked it, so I got another one.
Oh, the non-beers go on the list too. I've got all the whiskey mixes and straight whiskeys and et cetera on there too.
Including water.
Yeah, including water, including tap water.
Courtesy of the city of Bismarck and
yay.
the city of Mandan.
I don't think I have any City of Mandan ones on there because
Not yet.
I haven't had water on the show
You
yet.
guys ever mix the two?
No. It came from the same river, and you can't put them back together because it's been sublimated in two different directions.
You guys might be missing out on a special treat there.
I guarantee we put those two back together the way they've been processed, and we'll probably have a nuclear reaction.
So, Howie, I see you're drinking what appears to be a Laughing Sun space probe.
I am drinking a Laughing Sun space probe.
I got one of those tonight, too.
You know, JS, great minds think alike. That's what I'm going to say.
I was going to ask you, did you pick that up at the brewery there, or did you pick it up at one of the other local establishments?
I picked it up. It was at it was either North Cashwise or G. Willikers, or just Willikers
Nice.
now.
I'll have to keep my eye on it because I definitely enjoy peach.
Don't make them get sued again.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Since-
Are you cracking that open, Kidder?
The what?
Are you cracking that open?
I have to because I'm thirsty. I'm out of that one.
I'm out too, and I have one of those in my fridge. So that's why I was wondering if I could go
one
get
of these?
mine. I think it's the same one.
The Space Probe Blueberry Sour. JS,
Wow.
do you have one of these too? You can switch over to the blueberry instead.
No, I did, however, get the cloud.
Okay.
Kidder, if it makes you feel better, of the two drinks that are next in my, because I put all my beer in a little feeder, in the door that drops down.
No.
So the next two are the Finnish long drink that JS is drinking, and then I have a Space Pro Blue that you gave me as the next one.
He puts the beer in the top and it comes out the bottom.
That's how I determine what I'm having on the show. I just grab whatever on the bottom, and that way
he
I keep them.
forgets about it by the time he has it.
Yeah, well, it cycles them through. It guarantees I don't have one that sits in my fridge for like a year undrunk. So
I did.
16 ounces?
I did also pick up a surprise beer for Howie, Derek, and Kidder.
I like that we're all sharing surprises.
Yes, it's gonna be fun.
Truthfully, I do like it because it's fun.
I'll get him. I'll get him to Kidder sometime this week, and I'll let him disperse them. He's in contact.
Are you going
like the career?
Are you going to mysteryize them like I did the Sunny D for you?
I am. I even got the fancy brown paper bags.
These aren't like steel reserves, are they?
They are not.
Okay. I didn't want to die on this show.
So we're gonna brown paper bag this. I'm gonna tape it to the top so all you can see is the top there, and we're gonna go with that. They are not
Great.
steel reserves.
Okay. I mean, I love you guys and everything, but I really don't want to die on this show.
Tear into it like a Christmas gift. Take a swig and
There you go.
It might knock you out till Christmas the way that he's building it up. I don't know.
Well, I went to the old fridge and I found the Space Pro Blue. So
There it is. So this one is from Laughing Sun Brewing Company in Bismarck as well. They are, I think, online at, does it say on here? It does. LaughingSunBrewing.com. If you're in the Bismarck area, they're located at 1023 East Front Avenue. And they have some tasty beverages and tasty barbecue. So make sure you stop by Laughing Sun in Bismarck. This kind of beer is a blueberry sour ale. It tastes like blueberries, slightly sweet and tart. It's 12 fluid ounces. Local Geek also has the fancy looking can over there. As pretty much you saw what Howard had. It's just blue instead of peach.
except mine's now in a glass.
Yeah, well, there you go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful color. Bluish purple on it. And I've said their little notes on the side. So Local Geek, you've had this before, right? I've had it before.
I haven't actually had the blueberry one before. I've had a couple of the Space
What?
Pros, but
What?
I don't get over to the Laughing Sun Brewery very often. I tend to stay over at Dialectic.
Oh. Still in the midnight sun of the river. Okay. What?
We've gotten to that point in the show where I have poked the bear enough that he's now just being angry with everybody.
Yeah, JS, you missed us. Otherwise, you'd be in the
So what does it have to do with
The
tap
exact
waters
same
and sides of the river? Because me not being from the area, it sounds like there's a bone to pick on each side.
I don't know about the tap water situation. Well, I do know about the tap water situation. Actually,
Well, you guys were talking about how if you mix the two, it might be bad news, but
I think that was just
Like,
Kidder making jokes. But,
I mean, I don't know. I've never tried it. So, Local Geek, next time you're dropping off beers, I guess grab a glass of your finest tap water, and we'll test it on the show. And if it's the last episode I do, then I guess we know the answer.
we'll throw it in a mystery can for you.
well, Kidder, I do have news for you there. I actually do have insider information about the tap water between the two cities.
No.
There's a range that the tap water is allowed to be within, and Mandan is typically like always right in the middle, and Bismarck will sway from the top to the bottom constantly.
Yeah, you know, sometimes the best things in life are a little bipolar.
You know, I thought your big thing was the fact that all your beer is brewed with Mandan tap water.
I think Lacey
That is
Gold
also
got
true.
that one.
And you know, on the last episode I was on, I mentioned my friend's been tweaking his water with minerals and everything to make it consistent, and he uses Bismarck tap water. So
Minerals. Anyway, Howard poked the bear right at the beginning of the show because we're talking about the potential development of a roundabout in this neighborhood, and I'm adamantly opposed to it. Adamantly opposed. And
You need a roundabout right at both Washington and Burley. That needs one because people are idiots and can't figure out how to use a stop sign.
What did I tell you?
no. Four-way
Traffic keeps moving.
Traffic light. Put the lights
And-
up. I like seeing lights.
That's very progressive of you.
They need
And-
laser beams as well. We need
You also-
lasers
they-
and lights, and they're flashing and get blinding drivers. Why? Because then all the traffic will go away. I don't have to worry about traffic anymore because they're all blind and they can't
Well-
drive.
We'll build
And they
you a
also
center
need to
lane
put
so you
another
can just
one-
jump right over.
Yes, express lane. Wham! It's just
They
like
also need to
earlier
put
in-
another one right at Washington and like the end of Kidder's driveway.
Yeah.
So he just so he has to go through two of them just to get home.
I like JS's thinking. I'm going to just start it now. JS for mayor. I mean, he doesn't live in the city, but JS for mayor.
I'm about ready to drop the blade and start pushing people through the four-way stop at Apple Creek and 66. I swear, I'm going to start hitting people.
Four-way stops were the worst thing invented. Should I go? Should I? Did I get here first? Do you want to go? Should I? No. You go. No. I'm gonna go. No. Just freaking go.
I'm glad I dropped both my children off before I had that direction, because I am literally screaming at the cars in front of me for like 5 minutes straight until I make it through that stupid stop.
I don't know if it's Iowa in general, Rude Boy, but I know when I was in Cedar Falls, they have a ton of roundabouts.
It's because they have something to say.
Well, the thing is that if you don't get your chance to say something the first time around, you can see where that person exits and tail them.
Swing around and tell them again.
You got another try. I mean,
they're behind you, and you give them one of these, and then you come up behind them and give them one of these.
Yeah, I remember we rented a car for a day when we made the trip to London a few summers back, and
it's a long drive.
It was we went out to the Heathrow airport, and just driving on the left side of the road and encountering a UK roundabout for the first time. I got honked at a couple times, but I mean, it's but yeah,
you're on the wrong side of the road there, sir.
No, they weren't that polite, but I didn't hear them. So
hey, you wanker, get out of the way.
Do the roundabouts go backwards too then?
Yeah, you enter from the left, you turn left, and you go clockwise instead of counterclockwise.
You just don't know if you're coming.
I was just about to ask that same question, and like that is a serious question. I had no idea if they actually went the other way, not like Australian toilets.
Yeah, well, it's featured in the Euro Truck Simulator if we ever venture out over across the pond there, Mark.
No, I'm good driving on the right side of the road.
So he needs Euro lawn mowing so he can mow the lawn on the opposite side.
Yeah, the grass gets discharged on the other side. Or better yet, it just shoots out the front and you just keep mowing it. It's like the poor man's mulcher. Just keep shoving it out in front of you until it disappears. There's little grass clippings coming out here. I must have just go a little slower. It's just mulch it all up, get it out here.
You can be all confused when they make an Australian version. They're mowing upside down.
Yeah, I know. How do they do that? It's amazing they're still on this planet.
Kangaroo jumps out in front of your lawnmower.
You know, the four-way stop out there wouldn't be so bad if everyone didn't feel the need to stop for a minute and a half every freaking car. There are 600 cars that are going into Bismarck. There's like 20 coming home from Bismarck and like 3 that cross the other road. Just keep driving. You slow down, you almost stop when there's no cars coming the other, you just go. You just roll the side and just go.
That's very
interesting. But they can't do that.
JS was the one to first break the F-bombs tonight, regardless of how much you almost pissed me off.
You got, I mean, if people could just use the damn stop signs correctly, it wouldn't be so bad, but they can't do it. I don't know how long the morning commute took for y'all this morning, but I drove 6 miles an hour from Lincoln all the way to Highway 10, and then 12 miles an hour from the roundabout all the way into Bismarck.
Yeah, that's double speed, man. You can't complain about getting 2x speed. It's like a boost.
Yeah.
Cruising along.
It took me 34 minutes to make it from Lincoln to Bismarck.
I cannot say that I experienced any kind of negativity with my drive or driveway or anything like that because Rude Boy and I were delivering cargo until about 04:30 this morning, and so my car didn't exit the garage until about 2:10, 14:10. So everything was pretty much dried up by then. I mean, I don't know what everybody was complaining about. Everything was fine.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh. I mean, I will say it was a solid sheet of like an inch of ice all the way into town, but still.
It's like the old, all the old timers. Just send the kids with the sled and the skis, and they have to go uphill to school in the cold,
Both ways.
the wind, both ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for them. Builds muscle.
So, Kidder, we have all these guests on for a reason, and now that we have everybody here,
we should
I think it's time to play the game.
Time to
play the game. Is it one of the requirements that we all grab an IPA and suffer through this at the same time?
I gotta go refill before we start this.
Yeah, you better make it a stiff one.
Because I mean, I
keep IPAs in the house.
I bought an IPA specifically for this, and I'm assuming this is going to be terrible.
He's a glutton for punishment. All right. So it is once again time for the what do they call it? Hold on. It wasn't my thing, but it's now our thing. It's the
Nokia phone sound effects.
Yeah.
Snippets number 3.
Music challenge.
I'd call it the impossible music challenge.
It was a challenge, all right.
Yeah, let's do it. So, here's how it goes. I somehow got onto this email list from a guy who's part of this trivia team and basically is competing. We are competing against this year or this time. There were 24 other teams. Wait, no. There were 24 songs. Doesn't say how many teams. I don't know. I really don't get all of the information and especially don't pre-read before I go on because I'm not a consummate professional. So essentially the way that it goes and the way that I've experienced and we've done it on the show before, there are 3 different sets of 8 clips sent out. Each team has 5-ish hours to compile their answers and return their final guesses to the coordinators of this competition. And then there's a little bit of time, and then they sent out a second group of 8 clips. Again, a time period, and then the next day is the third set of 8 clips, again with a timed deadline and sent in. So now that everybody has heard that, the spiel is here. Let's go right into group number 1, set number 1, track number 1, the clip. Since Howard Blues likes to be the funny guy, you get to go first.
Well, it's not that I've made like a bunch of joke answers or to this. It's more that I do have some interesting choices on here, and I really want Kidder's like genuine, actual reaction or head slap when he hears some of these.
Okay. We are recording in the Matrix view.
Yeah. And so I tried to listen to these and if anything come up with songs that they at least sounded like that it could be. And so for number 1 out of group 1, I have Cheeseburger in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett.
Close.
I got Something by U2.
Closer.
All right. Number 3, we have Rudeboy Kyle.
I chose Losing My Religion by REM.
And The Local Geek.
I got Something by Nickelback.
Rudeboy Kyle gets the correct point at the first one. Losing My Religion by the band REM.
Damn. That was my second guess.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's your chance for redemption. Track number 2, Howard Blues.
This one I had no idea what it was, so I just went with the classic comedy song "Taser Her Again" by Hayward Banks.
Ooh. I got Hank Williams Sr.
Yeah,
Song about him, right?
I was under a severe time crunch due to virtual trucking responsibilities. I don't know.
Being mother trucker.
I got Photographed by Nickelback.
Oh, I'm glad that he found the Wikipedia page, so he knows some
Yes.
Nickelback songs. That was the Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller.
I knew it sounded familiar.
A close second for everybody.
I almost had it.
3. Track number 3 in set 1. Howard Blues.
So this one I clued into the camera sound effect along with the cash register sound effect, and so I Google searched songs with cash registers and cameras, and I came up with "Paparazzi" by Lady Gaga.
Legitimate.
It is
Yes.
definitely something by Destiny's Child.
Also a legitimate guess there. Yeah.
I'm going with Too Bad by Nickelback.
Okay. Keeping the theme. Great.
Yeah.
Like your support for Canada.
That was, in fact, the song Paper Planes by MIA.
And Rudeboy Kyle gets another point. He is up 2 to everybody else, so a 0 there. Howard keeping the scoring, of course, to keep this above board. All right. Track number 4, a throwback of sorts. Howard Blues, your guess.
I have a "Little Bitty Pretty One" by Thurston Harris.
Okay, that's a throwback. JS?
I've got the doo-wop trio because I have no idea.
All right.
This
Rudeboy?
Afternoon by Nickelback.
Oh, okay. All right. I see a theme here from the local geek.
I said that it sounded familiar, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. I'm sure once I hear the answer,
This is
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
What is it? You didn't even tell us what it is.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt, but
Oh,
since you gave me the invitation, I have the Boulevard Brewing Co. Oh,
how many?
reset.
Coopany?
Boulevard Brewing Co. Space Camper Alpha Vapor IPA. It is a nebulous IPA. My bad. It is 5.9% alcohol. Save the Earth. This is the only planet with beer.
That we know of.
And that's about all I can tell you because that's all it says in the can. Brewed and packaged by Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri. And it's an IPA and it's actually good.
He is drunk.
I'm impressed.
Back to song 4.
That is Don't Be Cruel by Elvis Presley.
Ah,
All right.
Yep, that was not my guess.
Howard Blues, here is track number 5 of set number 1.
Now I know this one is wrong, but it was the only thing that I could think of for this song. So I have "All I Want for Christmas" by Mariah Carey.
No, she's frozen. This is the wrong time of the year. She's gone back out to sea.
Howie, you are definitely wrong. It is the Swedish Chef.
Bird.
I thought it was Big Chungus.
Big Chungus, huh? Okay. Local.
No,
geeks.
I honestly didn't recognize that one.
Oh,
I'm going Animals by Nickelback.
Animals by Nickelback.
Ooh,
You know,
it could be. It could be.
very close guess. No, that was How Do You Do by Mouth and McNeil. Sorry.
So
On
it was
to
the
number-
Swedish Chef.
Yeah, heard number 6 of set number 1. Howard Blues. I hope you get this one. If not, I'm taking your blues card.
Okay, I'll print it out and give it to you because I did not go with blues. The best I could come up with in the time that I had was Bukowski by Modest Mouse.
I mean, you're giving legitimate guesses, so I have to give you like a 10% of a tenth of a Canadian.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
It's like a penny.
My
less.
first,
It's Canadian.
Yes.
I'm going to go with How You Remind Me by Nickelback.
No, he's going out of order. He's just excited to get his Nickelback out.
my
You
first
gotta-
guess was BB King. However, I then had to change it to the last sound you hear before being abducted in the hills of Alabama.
Okay.
If he's going to go with BB King, if I remember number 6 correctly, I'd have to pull it up to listen to it again. But Louis Armstrong, last second guess.
Those are all some good guesses. That is Minnie the Moocher, Howdy, 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 by Mr. Cab Calloway. Number 7. Our Blues.
This one reminded me of I Want Candy by the Strange Loves.
Okay.
Ooh.
JS?
I have every song in the Jungle Book.
Wow. All played at once. Okay.
Yep.
Rude Boy.
This was I Don't Care Anymore by Phil Collins.
I don't care anymore. All right. And Local Geek, your guess.
You know where I'm going with this one?
Probably north of the border and south of our hearts.
I'm actually kind of on the same wavelength as Rudeboy Kyle. I'm thinking this one might have been In the Air Tonight by George Michael or Wham or Nonpoint or any other band that might have covered that song.
Yes, he's really going for the schmattering. So you're correct in the fact that there's a plethora of bands out there who have covered this song. It is, in fact, I Want Candy. And the artist specifically on this is not listed because it's very similar from many artists.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Except for that
And
Aaron
yours
Carter
Nickelback.
version.
Dang it, I should've
And the
stuck with
Nickelback version, yeah. Number 8.
Number 8, I listen, that is some terrible like synth bongos. And I even Google searched that, and the best I could come up with, it is the DK Rap by the DK Crew from Donkey Kong, the Nintendo 64 game.
Absolutely. Very, very interesting right there. Very, very poignant on your answer. Well, let's go around the room. JS.
I've got a dot matrix machine sings the conga.
Is that the 1992 version or the 1996? Just for clarification.
That would be the ancient printer we used to have to print out the reports. You know what I'm talking about. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rudeboy Kyle still uses one of those at his day job. What's his guess?
No, we use thermal paper. Thank you very much. And,
hasn't gone that much farther in technology, let's be honest.
Well, we do have one in some storage somewhere, I'm sure. I had no clue. If I allocated more time to myself, I probably could have thought something out, but I had no guess.
That's okay. Trucking is a lifestyle, not just a job. Local Geek.
Leader of Men by Nickelback.
Oh man, he's
got it.
The interesting thing is he's going to have to start doing deep cuts into set 2 and set 3 because we still have 16 more of these. This is New Song by Howard Jones. There you go.
So new, I've never heard of it.
Such a new song. Yeah. All right. Local Geek apparently was so disappointed that
He had
was
to go
not
get his
Nickelback,
Nickelback albums.
that he got up and left to go apparently find his collection of Nickelback CDs. Set 2, track number 1, Howard Blues.
The best guess I could come up with this one was Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson.
Good guess. JS?
Alice in Wonderland on an LSD trip.
Rudeboy?
I had no clue.
And Local Geek.
Something in Your Mouth by Nickelback.
Oh, man, that's close, but unfortunately incorrect. The song's called At the Save a Penny Superstore. It's by Les Paul and Mary Ford.
That's what I said.
You must have quite the Canadian slur. You're too drunk on maple syrup, sir. You are cut off. Number 2 of set 2, Howard Blues.
I had no idea this one, but I'm going to guess it is the music played with the Cloverdale sausage ad at the Ralph.
A classic.
That could be close.
Every time I heard it, that was like the thought that came to mind. So
we're missing Brother Nico to add in the at the end there. Yeah. All right. JS.
I got something from Mary Poppins.
All right. Going out there. Rude Boy?
No clue.
And Local Geek.
Because of You by Nickelback.
Ah, man. So this was Jingle, Jangle, Jingle by Kay Kaiser.
Sounds like Mary Poppins.
On to number 3. Howard Blues.
This one I went with Radio Gaga by Queen.
Solid guess. JS?
A legitimate answer was Eat It by Weird Al.
All right. Mm-hmm. Rude Boy?
I couldn't recognize it. I had no guess.
Okay. This one is a pretty popular song. Local Geek with the finale.
Far Away by Nickelback.
That one also very popular. I don't believe it reached number 1 on the U.S. active rock chart. However, it was in the top 10, and you can look up that because I know you're already on the Wikipedia page. That was Obsession by Animotion. 4 of set 2, Howard Blues.
All That She Wants by Ace of Base.
Okay.
Ooh.
JS?
The Backstreet Boys Rap Battle of Polka Band.
Yeah. Rude Boy.
I also guessed All That She Wants by Ace of Base. That is a distinct sound.
And the Local Geek?
Why Don't You and I by Santana featuring Chad Kruger.
Ooh.
Canadian.
You know what? It's good that Chad Kruger lent his vocals to that track. Unfortunately, not a Nickelback song, not a Chad Kruger featured song. It was, in fact, All That She Wants. Here's Another Baby by Ace of Base. There it is. All right, number 5 on set 2, Howard Blues.
So I was running out of time on this one when I was doing it. So my guess is That's All, Folks by the Looney Tunes Orchestra.
Okay.
Because it kind of has that doo that you kind of got at the end. So that's all I had.
I have the Mother Lovin' SpongeBob theme song. We'll keep it PG for Howie.
It was literally that in the line. Just so you're aware. Rudeboy.
I didn't have a guess for this one. This one threw me for a loop.
Local Geek.
It was San Quentin by Nickelback.
Oh man,
Could be.
It's very, very close. It was Sweet City Woman by the Stampeders.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Number 6 on set 2, Howard Blues.
So I just want to add, this was the set that I struggled the most with. So I have that one Tom Jones song that we all forgot about.
I will swear that this is something off of one of Lindsey Sterling's albums, but I don't know which one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rude Boy.
I did not know this one.
All right. And the Local Geek.
Next Contestant by Nickelback.
Very close. Very close.
It's going to be running out of songs here soon.
Good thing Nickelback has put out enough albums. This is My Cherie Amour by Mr. Stevie Wonder. All right. Here we are at number 7 on set 2. Howard Blues.
For this one, I put Ballroom Waltz Before the Ballroom Blitz by who knows. Howard is just making it up at this point.
And Howard is getting agitated because even Howard is swearing. JS.
It sounded like something from Frank Sinatra, but I don't know what.
Okay. Rude Boy.
Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
Ba-pow.
No, it was. I had no clue.
Local Geek.
Side of a Bullet by Nickelback.
That's a very good cover there, actually featuring Dimebag Darrell on the cover of the song. Unfortunately, you were incorrect. That was Begin the Beguine by Artie Shaw. No, I don't know that either.
I have no idea who that is.
Number 8 on the list, the final track of set number 2, Howard Blues.
So this was the one that caused me to send you the note about these being sound effects. I had 2 songs that it could be, and I don't think it's this one, but it's the best one I could come up with, and it's Blue by Eiffel 65.
Oh,
Okay.
dang it.
JS.
PG version, Everyone's Banging in a UFO by Rob Zombie.
Mm-hmm. It is an actual song.
Good
It's
guess.
a real song,
It is
and
a good
song.
I have heard it.
Rude Boy.
I also said Blue by Eiffel 65. That's I'd say out of all 24 of the songs, that was the most distinctive.
I knew the sound, but I couldn't pinpoint it.
Local Geek.
Clearly, it's This Means War by Nickelback.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. You know,
How could I not have known that?
we did miss the synth in that track for some reason. It was, in fact, Blue by Eiffel 65. That wraps up 2/3 of this contest.
Yes, and for those of you listening at audio, the score is currently Local Geek with 0, JS with 0, myself with 3, and Rudeboy Kyle with 4, which puts Kyle 1 off of what he predicted for himself to get. So he said 5. So right now he's living up to the claim, the prediction.
I've got 1 in the last pack of songs, so hopefully I can get it.
Okay, here we go. Set 3, track 1, Howard Blues.
I long shot, but it was the only thing I could think of on this one. I'm going with Pinball Wizard by Elton John.
Okay.
Yeah, this I'd say there. I had 2 of these in this set of music. It sounded very familiar to me, but I couldn't put it to a ballpark of where it comes from. But I know I'd heard it before.
Okay. JS?
This is the default ringer on every Verizon cell phone.
And Local Geek rounding us out with the top of the top 40 rock.
Shaking Hands by Nickelback.
There it is. There it is. Unfortunately, that is incorrect, Local Geek. That's Love Plus One by Haircut 100. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Clip number 2 from set number 3, Our Blues.
You know, I think part of my problem is I always pick things that are too mainstream when it comes to this challenge. So this one reminds me of Mana by Cake.
Ooh.
That's definitely in the ballpark that I was thinking of, but I
don't think it's right, but that was the best I could come up with.
I wrote down that this is way too generic to pin down. I like there are other ones that I could kind of put it to a specific genre or set of artists that may have heard before, but this was no clue. Absolutely no clue.
I've got the sound I make falling down the stairs after tripping on the my wife left there for me to carry downstairs.
Don't forget about that. It's right at the edge of the steps, so you don't forget about it. Local Geek, this should be a top quality guess, I believe. Lay it on us.
Yeah, I'm right on there with JS Gunslinger. Woke Up This Morning by Nickelback.
Oh, I mean, you might not wake up, but I see what you did there. This is one that I got. It's Frankenstein by the Edgar Winter Group. Of course, it's the
stadium beats.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Track number 3. Our Blues.
I had no idea on this one, but I went with Merry Go Round by the Struts. Because I like the Struts, and more people need to listen to the Struts.
Correct. Good. JS?
Legitimate guess, Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay. See where you get that. Yeah.
One of the few.
Yeah, good. Rude Boy. What do you got?
Yeah, I drew a blank on this one.
All right. And Local Geek?
Old Enough by Nickelback.
Man, I mean, here's the interesting thing that somewhat close by titling, at least. This is one that I got as well. When Something Is Wrong with My Baby by Sam and Dave. Of course, a lot of inspiration from Sam and Dave with the Blues Brothers.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
It's time for track number 4 on set number 3. Howard Blues.
I was going to say it's time to get loose. Footloose by Kenny Loggins.
Wow. He's headed to the danger zone himself with Kenny freaking Loggins. Okay. JS.
I have another song by you two.
Wow. Okay. Rude Boy.
This is Wonderwall by Oasis.
Okay. And Local Geek.
Those Days by Nickelback.
You know, that is a slower Nickelback song, so I could see where you would pull that out of there, but unfortunately, that is incorrect. This was another track that I got. Rude Boy is correct. It is Wonderwall by Oasis, because anyway, here's Wonderwall.
I was on the right track.
Yeah, I would say of all the guesses that were not correct, you were in the right ballpark.
Yeah.
There was a few of them. I had an idea, but this is not my musical genre for most of these.
Yeah. And you sit and listen to that little clip over and over, and it sits and starts drilling into your brain like, I know this freaking track. And then you're trying to remember what fresh piece of hell you remember it from. And
there you
I
go.
like a waste.
Maybe we'll make it instead of a 5-hour challenge. Just give yourself 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
15-minute crunch for 24 clips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did this in about 3 or 4 for these because I actually had time to do this last set and then return
3 or 4 days.
Minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like a 5-hour time limit to return the answers. So, all right. Number 5 on set 3, Howard Blues.
Somebody already mentioned this band, but I do believe that this is Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay. Local Geek, you said Nickelback, so you may as well get your pick out of the way.
What are you waiting for by Nickelback?
What are you waiting for? Right. Because
I'm sensing a very Celebrity Jeopardy vibe going on here, Kidder.
Buck Futcher. JS, your guess. I didn't say it. It's a Celebrity Jeopardy thing. You can't censor that.
Another legitimate guess, The Cowboys Lament by Burl Ives.
Okay. Rude Boy.
I said that this rang a bell in my head, but I couldn't put my finger on it. It was very familiar, but I wasn't going to cheat and use the Google search and.
Shit.
Let me put my 2 cents in on Side of a Bullet by Nickelback.
Oh.
Ooh.
Sorry, sir. That guess has already been used.
Oh.
This song is If I Don't Care by the Ink Spots. Yes. Very alternative. Okay. Next on the list, it's number 6. The 6th track of this painful thing that we decided to do for no reason other than content. Howard Blues, your guess.
For this one, I went with Somewhere Beyond the Sea by Frank Sinatra.
Good guess. JS?
Well, I have the beginning of every brass band jazz song, but I'll throw one out there as Mambo number 5.
Ah, yes. Yep. Rude Boy, are you also playing the trumpet and other things over there?
No, I had no clue.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I
listen to the
like
track
the
again.
dabble in the jazz and the trumpets, but it didn't ring a bell.
Very big band. Okay, Local Geek. This all relies on you to get this correct. So
said it's a very big band, so I got to go with Next Contestant by Nickelback.
Wait, you've already used that one.
That's what I was going to say as well. I'm pretty sure that was used already.
Oh, dude, I lost track of which ones I
forgot.
Clearly, if it's any of the big band songs, it's got to be Photograph.
Yeah, that's like.
Well, I already used that one. So.
Okay, I'm going to choose for you. How about Too Bad by Nickelback? Sorry, that's incorrect.
Okay.
That's already been chosen. Sorry.
I don't think he guessed that one yet, did he?
He has.
He did? Okay. All right.
I thought I hit most of their major titles already.
Well, let's move on. That was Shoo Shoo Baby by the Andrews Sisters. And speaking of hits, it's track number 7 of set 3, Howard Blues.
For this one, I went with Lollipop by the Chordettes.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, I can see that.
JS?
I went with, which is a legitimate thing, Bruce Lee playing ping pong with nunchucks.
All right. Rude Boy.
Sex on Fire by the Kings of Leon.
Whoa!
Huh.
This game is not fire. Yeah. Local Geek.
Get 'em Up by Nickelback.
Okay, good. I'm glad to see that we're back to unique guesses. Thank you for that. This
You
was
sang
also-
my guess.
You sang my whoa! Yeah. This is also a track that I got on the set. And the last of the tracks that I got, it is in fact Lollipop by the Chordettes.
Yeah.
The final one.
You know, there's several of these that after Kidder, spills out the beat and does his best at beatboxing. I do know the song. I have no idea what the title or who any of these bands are.
There's still time. It's okay.
Yes. And
You got one left.
The space probe is great, by the way.
I got another one after we do the last song. So
I'm almost thinking I should do the other blueberry space probe that I have because I have 2 in the fridge.
Oh, there is 8. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's another one. But I need something to drink because we're still not done with this. You know what? This one is courtesy of Howard and Howard Sr. Since this contest is out there and it's a little hammy, yes, that's right, folks, going with the hams.
Yes.
America's classic Primo beer, born in the land of sky blue waters, brewed in true family tradition from purest water and choicest barley malt, grain, and hops. By the way, if you want that wonderful pint glass design, you can get that at beerbluesbs.com. beerbluesbs.com, where I'll have a water with grain and hops. There's bedspread sized blankets available with that design there. Let's see. It's a 12 fluid ounce can. It is beer. It's made and brewed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 4.7% alcohol by volume. I know it's that high. 142 calories, 12 grams of carbs, no fat, and one gram of protein in this here gold, white, and blue can. And no other information, but they've been going around since 1865, so you could say they've been here a day or two. JS, when's the last time you had a Primo like this?
I'd have to say about 20 years ago, and the last beer I had with my grandpa.
Well, cheers to your grandpa.
Yep.
All right.
PBR is the closest thing I've had to hams in a long time.
if we're pausing for a drink here, I got to ask you guys, am I having one from Montana, South Dakota, not from South Dakota, or from Kidder?
Not from South Dakota.
I'll go get it.
I had to shout something out.
That's hilarious. Howard Blues gets the shaft once again. This is clearing my palate from the blueberry beer that I just had. It
And we
tastes
had
like
hams. Have we had hams on the show?
This is the first, I believe.
Oh.
The guy who can confirm
Hold on
just
a
caught
second.
up to get his other one. But,
I've got a brew in the fridge.
There has not been hams yet.
there we go.
So there has not been hams, I believe, on the official show. If you go into some of the wrestling stuff, there may have been a hams.
There may have been.
But Local Geek doesn't track the wrestling show. What's on taps?
I'll be honest, I don't watch those ones.
Even
I
too
I
bored
do give
by
you the
those.
thumbs up on them, but I don't watch them all the way through.
Thanks.
We're,
for the
we're-
effort.
We're gonna have to do like a shitty beer challenge on one of these.
So for my not from South Dakota
That's
beer,
me every week.
Oh, the Doppelbock.
I've got the Doppelbock from the Lupulin Brewing Company, which is the one that I picked up when I was in Sioux Falls at the brewery there, thinking I was getting some South Dakota beer. But now,
wasn't actually brewed in South Dakota, and he got screwed.
yeah. But
Yeah,
now Kidder has officially
bamboozled.
had a South Dakota beer on the show. So
Thanks for that, Local Geek. So is it-
Do we have all 50 states, or are we still missing one?
We are missing about half of them.
yeah, they're missing like 20.
Oh,
Yep.
you should send me the list, and I'll next time I go to the land of the liquor, I'll look.
Oh, I went and grabbed my last Coors Banquet.
He's got the banquet beer.
This is, I mean, it goes down smooth.
It's 150 years old.
150 years strong. the
Oh,
can
strong.
says.
Okay.
I put a link in
Okay.
the chat there, JS, of all the ones they haven't had don't have a bar in the graph yet.
I've got it up. All right,
That's pretty funny though. The 150 years strong. No wonder that the beer has weakened to this point because they're using the same hops from 150 years ago. Yeah, switch them out now and then.
See, I was really hoping that long drink from North Carolina would have made it on to one of the new states, but we beat me to it.
I had that one on the 2-year episode, I think.
Ah, so we got 3 of them now, technically.
Yeah. All right. We're all vocally lubricated with some new beverages, whether they're new or classic. It is time for the final track.
I got a hot one
Finally.
for you on this one, Kidder.
Oh man, it's going to be a top hit. I have no doubt that it's going to be a supreme accurate guess. Howard Blues. Let's start the round table. Track 8 of set 3.
So I had something different written down, but I definitely think this is Hero by Nickelback.
The hero can save us.
JS.
Mark's not going to stand here and wait.
This was probably one of the most mumble mashed vocals I've heard of a song, so I had to go with The Swedish Chef Strikes Again.
Okay, Rude Boy.
This was obviously Made of Stone by Evanescence.
Ooh, pop, pop, pop. Or should I say, pop, 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 pop. Okay. Local Geek.
I think you're all wrong. This one is Whiskey in a Jar by Metallica.
Ooh, yeah, he stole it from my shirt. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Unfortunately, you are all incorrect. It is JT himself. Yes, Justin Timberlake. Cry Me a River. No, I didn't get that one either. So there it is. There's your 24 tracks. Take them or leave them, and you can certainly leave them. Of this group that we are now somewhat included in, the team went 23 of 24 tracks, only missing Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller And that song apparently was worth 400 points, which means only 2 teams got that song correctly identified. So this year, the team finished in second place once again. So last year was second place. A couple years ago, we as a team finished in the top spot, baby! Because you're either first or you're last.
That's right.
Yeah, and for those wondering how we finished, especially if you're listening to the audio version of the show, Local Geek with 0, JS with 0. I ended up with 4, doubling my all-time record in this, and showing that he's great at predictions. Rudeboy Kyle is the big winner tonight. He got 5 correct, which is what he predicted he would get. And hey, Kidder, here's a fun fact. My predictions are actually in the run sheet. So if anybody wanted to verify that that is what I picked, that's where my predictions were written.
There it is.
I will say I tried legitimately to find these to figure out what these were, and when I had no idea whatsoever, you saw what happened.
It's all good. It happens. There we go.
Fun times.
All right. Thanks for indulging. Let's get on with it because Howard's going to say his damn line here in a little bit, and then all the fun's going to be over.
Yeah, although I'm going to probably cut a lot of that. Anyway, because we have other interesting topics I'd like to get in. Like,
I bought a new gun. That's an interesting topic.
Woo! Let's do it. Let's check it out. Where is it?
It's
I wanna see
upstairs,
it!
but I didn't tell my wife, so I can't bring it down because she's upstairs.
Since we are on the topic of music, Local Geek, you put this in our run sheet, but apparently you've been playing around with Google Bard and some lullabies.
Yeah, so I asked Google Bard to write my son a lullaby. I gave him the power to choose what the topic was, and his topic of choice for this lullaby was Chinese food.
I got a lullaby for you.
Yes.
And Google Bard did an absolutely terrible job of writing a lullaby about Chinese food. There's not a single rhyme in it. It doesn't flow very well. I have to read it every time he asks me to sing it to him because I can't remember the stupid song, the way the song goes, but he has it memorized.
So I was saying, I have the perfect Chinese-related lullaby for you. Howard, do you remember this one? You want to sing along with me?
No.
No, you don't remember. No, you don't want to sing. You're trying to purge it from your memory, but you can't.
Both.
I'm sad that Rude Boy and JS both got up because, you know, there's a cat in the kettle at the Peking Moon. It's the place that I eat every day at noon.
I have heard that, by the way, and that's exactly where I was going, except I was going to say the cat's in the cradle, but, you know.
Yep, the cat in the kettle.
Yes, I have heard that. I think you might have played it for me, but
Probably,
that's exactly where I was going with this.
They can feed you cat, but you'll never know, because they fry real crisp in dough, boy. They fry real crisp in dough. Thank you, 1999 Flash video internet websites.
Yeah.
I'm sad Rude Boy didn't get to hear any of that. All right, moving on.
I did put the lullaby in the chat if you guys want to read it. I'm not going to sing it to you because I'm awful at singing, first of all, and second of all, it's really hard to sing it.
And for our viewers or listeners, hey, it's in the show notes, so go check it out there so you can see it yourself. Kidder, we should talk playoff hockey a bit because it is the playoffs.
It is, and you know, the Colorado Avalanche again in the playoffs. I do have to say a quick shout out to Roger, who works at a local restaurant, sailing the high seas of the Cheddar Bay. The past couple years, got to know Roger because he is unfortunately a Golden Knights fan, but he's huge into hockey. And he has seen me several times when I've been to this restaurant wearing, of course, the Colorado Avalanche apparel. And he's like, oh, no. And so I, again, today was able to get him with the Colorado Avalanche because, you know, they are far superior to the Vegas Golden Showers. I just have to say that. But yes, the Avs currently playing. I like how JS was very confused with that. Wait, there's a team called that? No, they're not actually called that.
I didn't think they would actually be called that, but you know, I mean, it's sports nowadays, so you can have men playing women's sports and be perfectly fine. So why not have the Golden Showers? I mean,
R. Kelly is not on that team that I know of.
Oh, I thought he was the captain.
He might be. Although Ryan Reeves now plays for the Minnesota Wild, so there's a whole other conundrum. There's a shout out for a lazy goalie too. He'll probably love that reference. So the Avs, first round of the playoffs. Who do they get? The Seattle Kraken. And who's at the helm of the Kraken? It's former Fighting Sioux coach himself, Dave Hackstall. I got to say, he did some prep work. He's been studying the Avalanche. He must know that Howard and Kidder are huge Avs fans because he's trying. He's trying to take on the Avalanche, but you know, it's not enough. Kraken won game 1 of the series, and I do have to give it to him because, well, he won the first game of the first ever time a Kraken were in the playoffs. And it's the second year of their existence. So go Hack. Good job. Now, unfortunately, you're going to have to do it again next year because the Avalanche are going to crush you the rest of the playoffs here. And moving on is we are on our way to the Stanley Cup final. And why? Well, because the Avs need to win the cup again on behalf of the Blackhawks. And Jonathan Toews, who may never skate again. Former Fighting Sioux player, Jonathan Toews. And now former captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. Rudeboy, what do you think about that? Do you think that somebody else will pick him up? Do you think his health issues are a big problem and he's not going to come back? What's your inside analysis, being the hockey expert of the Triple B?
Honestly, I think he and the Hawks both played their cards kind of close to their chest, and with him, well, I've got an opinion on the Hawks. Not really. Basically, they decided not to re-sign him since he's at the end of his contract. But his health issues aside, I think he's one of those players that still really enjoys the passion and the game of hockey. But if he ends up going to a team to play a year or two, then I applaud him for that. But he's also said that he's also imagined himself retiring as a Blackhawk. So he's been a leader of the Hawks for a long time. And the whole aspect of he's around our age, not getting any younger, dealing with health issues, and if he realizes that his time has come and he wants to be done with hockey, then he's done a lot for not only the sport of hockey, but especially growing hockey in the Illinois and especially the Chicago area, along with his 3 Stanley Cups. So it's something that I respect him as a a fellow student of ours up at UND. I remember having breakfast one table away from him and TJ Oshie, where I think it was. I'm trying to remember the name of the dining hall. Wasn't Wilkerson.
It was Wilkerson. That was the dining hall.
Well, that was one of them. It was the one right. That was the one that was connected to the MU.
Wilkerson Complex, or are you talking Selkie? And
No, it was the
hall,
dining hall that was in the basement of the Union.
Ah,
What was the name
right.
of that one? But basically, it was something that I had sat down, had breakfast myself because I had an early class on the far side of campus, where we'll call it on the east side of campus, and I'd sat down, just had a bowl of cereal and banana and yogurt, and I had recognized that Jonathan Toews and TJ Oshie just sat down on the table next to me, and me being a hockey player, I was almost dumbfounded. It's like it's one of those dice roll moments that you get into those situations. It's like, well, I get up and introduce myself, you say hi, and it's like, well, this is something that I can say. I shook TJ Oshie's hand and Jonathan Toews' hand, and it's like I went up and introduced myself, told him I played intramurals and everything, and told him how really looked up to him as leaders for the hockey team and the university, and they both handled it like consummate professionals. So it was something that it was one of those moments is I can take away from my time at UND. Is it was a good memory, but yeah,
it was a Nickelback song about memories.
I'm sure it was mentioned early in the episode. But yeah, that was a cool moment for me. But I think that whatever he decides to do, I know the Hawks played a pivotal role in the Penguins missing the playoffs for the first time in a long time. So yeah,
dang.
Yeah, they had a really, really good chance of making it to the playoffs, and all of a sudden the Penguins faced the Calgary Flames and then the Chicago Blackhawks. And cue the bones.
I thought the Red Wings were supposed to be like the team.
Not this year.
Or was that like 20 years ago?
Back in the early 90s they were.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then the Avs beat the crap out of them.
So I wanted to share something, Kidder, that came across my stuff involving hockey. EA Sports.
It's in the game.
Yeah, they did a simulation of the playoffs to come up with their winner. I wanted to catch your thoughts, and it's great that Rudeboy Kyle's on here so we can get his thoughts. So here's what their bracket came out to be.
Trash. Garbage.
Oh,
This is the worst bracket ever, and clearly the worst NHL EA game that has ever been made, and I will not purchase it. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, so this
It's been that way for 10 years
there's
plus.
there's no sharks. What?
They
Well,
didn't make it to the playoffs.
I
yeah,
don't know who the S is.
that's the Kraken. So this has our Colorado
Seattle.
Avalanche losing to the Seattle Kraken 4-3
Yeah.
in
Dumb.
the first round.
Dumb.
So
I do like the bottom corner there, though, on the bottom left where it shows the Wild losing because they are a bunch of losers.
Well, see, we thought you'd be more supportive of the Wild, Kidder.
No, I hope they go away and they close down the franchise and move back to Atlanta.
I mean, they've got half of UND playing for them, so I mean,
False. They don't.
What?
Parisi's gone. He got booted out of the Wild. He and Brock Nelson play for the New York Islanders.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Which this simulation has losing 4-2 to the Canes right here
In the first round on the
in the first round. Yeah.
bottom right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Putting this much stock into a video game company that sold their soul about 15 years ago. Let's see. The Vegas Golden Knights, they're a hot team. They can be hot and cold, but beating the Jets 4-0, I'd call it maybe.
And that's already wrong.
Well, I mean, it's hindsight since we're already in the playoffs. Yes, we're gonna make that sound the default buzzer for wrong information, anything wrong, false,
The
hogwash.
Golden Showers and the Jets. But the Devils
Jets,
and the Rangers. But
I mean, out of all the two series that I would watch on the Western Conference side would be the Golden Knights and the Jets, and then the Stars and the Wild, because I know that the Avalanche can handle the Kraken, even though Coach Dave in Seattle, he's got tremendous leadership skills. He's definitely in a building mode, and they've got plenty of momentum. The Oilers, very hot team with Connor McDavid, but I would say they are probably wrong on Seattle beating the Stars.
whoa. Back it up around, boy.
Well, if you were to take if you were to take the Avalanche versus the Stars, in my opinion, that'd be a toss-up. I mean, they're both very, very talented teams. Strong goaltending. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. That's the series I would love to watch.
Yeah, you know where the Kraken got their goalie? The Avalanche.
Welcome to the expansion draft.
Yeah. Garbage.
So,
start from the bottom like you're supposed to. Don't steal from other teams like the Golden Showers and the Seattle Sea Monsters.
and my bone to pick in the Eastern Conference, I would say would be the Maple Leafs getting 3 wins against the Lightning. They might squeeze out a win.
Yeah,
I think I'd say of all the series going into the playoffs, one of the most exciting matchups would be the Islanders and the Hurricanes. They're both extremely competitive.
Think that's going Game 7?
I'd love to think it'd go 6 or 7 games, but the New Jersey Devils beating the Rangers, Rangers picking up Patrick Kane from the Hawks. The Rangers are with their offensive talent and their excellent goaltending. They'd be a tough match. I would love to see a conference finals in the East with Boston and the Rangers. In the West, I would say the Oilers and either the Avalanche or the Stars.
Just as a one last little bit of hockey, I wanted to say a congratulations to Tyler Liffrig. As people who have followed the show know, I kind of get to do a nice side hustle as an off-ice official for high school hockey. Tyler Liffrig is one of our on-ice officials. I've gotten to announce his name many a time, but he was one of the official referees for the NCAA championship title game down in Tampa. So kind of cool to see Bismarck guy getting to go down and do that. One last kind of news story, Kidder. I saw this tonight. I have to share because it is just the kind of story that we talk about in here. Here's the headline. Okay. Lord of the Rings fan fiction writer suing the Tolkien estate and Amazon for copyright infringement.
Tolkien or Tolkien?
Tolkien.
Tolkien?
Mm-hmm.
It's a Star Wars or a South Park joke, not a Star Wars joke. South Park joke. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I wouldn't, and I didn't. He is seeking $250 million. So just to kind of read from this story, Lord of the Rings fan fiction writer is suing the Tolkien estate and Rings of Power creator Amazon for copyright infringement of his novel, The Fellowship of the King. As reported by PC Gamer, Demetrius Polychron claims his work...
Is that a real name? Are we sure?
That's the name I got on this. Claims that his work, which was registered with the U.S. Copyright Office in 2017 and published in September 2022, is inspired by Lord of the Rings and J.R.R. Tolkien, but is a wholly original book and concept. The lawsuit claims that the Rings of Power show infringes on his copyright, and Polychron is seeking $250 million as a result. I'm not gonna lie, Kenner, every time I read this, I think that he's like a Transformers villain.
Okay.
Polychron also claims to have attempted several times to work with the Tolkien estate professionally. After filing the trademark, he sent a letter to J.R.R. Tolkien's grandson and Tolkien estate director Simon Tolkien, describing the book and asking the company to review his manuscript. In 2019, Polychron hired an attorney to contact the Tolkien estate again with excitement to collaborate with the defendants and the anticipation of publishing his book to the public. The complaint states that the Tolkien estate rebuffed any attempt at collaboration the very next day. So Polychron personally delivered a copyrighted copy to Simon Tolkien's home. He then claims to have asked for it back, telling Simon Tolkien in a letter that he would publish The Fellowship of the King and an additional 6-book series independently. The lawsuit points out similarities such as one of Polychron's characters being called Eleanor, which is the same name as one of the Rings of Power characters. However, it should be noted that this is also the name of one of J.R.R. Tolkien's own characters. It's one of Sam's daughters. So, there you go. Fan fiction writer is suing the guy who wrote the original IP because of copyright infringement. And on that crazy and confusing bit of news, Kidder! We've been talking for quite a while. It's time we wrap this show up with some cheap plugs.
I mean, as you can now see, that Orion is very, very antsy to get this show over with. I mean,
he's been begging for your attention all night.
He has, but now that he has it, Kenny doesn't want it. He's got other things to do. And we have things to do, things to tell you. And what is it? What could it be? Getting the cat hair out of the air and going to beerbluesbs.com. Look at that, beerbluesbs.com. Look at that awesome logo that's there. Yes, it's right on the website. And if you click merch, you can pick up one of these pint glasses for a very, very reasonable price. Also, if you don't want just the Triple B logo, maybe you want the perfect Kidder's old-fashioned design. You can get a pint glass or t-shirt or sweatshirt or very interesting variety of other items available in the merch store, beerbluesbs.com, the Killer Kidder Show, and the Killer Kidder Approved Old Fashioned. And I do have to say, as a shout out to Thomas and Moriarty's, they happen to know that recipe by heart. So I'm not just making this up. The perfect old fashioned for this region. And JS can attest because he now loves old fashions.
I will agree with you, Kidder. Rachel makes a pretty mean old fashioned.
They're tasty.
They're definitely tasty. Rudeboy Kyle, you have not had one from over across the river yet, but when you come visit, guess where we're heading? Across the river over to Thomas and Moriarty's on Main Street in Mandan.
See, Kidder gives Mandan a lot of shade, but yet he comes over here for his old fashions.
Well, I mean,
It's the water.
apparently, even though there's no water made in the old fashioned, keep that ice cold. Don't want it to melt. I don't want it to taint my old fashioned. You got to get those whiskey stones. You know, the stones you freeze and then you put those in the glass so then your drink doesn't dilute. That's smart drinking. All right.
No, I know. Tom's Moriarty's uses real ice.
They do. But I don't let my drink die. I drink it right away, and I don't have that watered down, whatever you want to call it at that point, abomination. We also have our merch store available through Steam Labs. So, or Streamlabs, I should say. So if you want to visit the merch store there, donate, buy us a beer, we have a link there. And also buying us a beer is super easy on our website, beerbluesbs.com. You just click buy us a beer, and you can do that right on the website. Again, a big shout out to Rudeboy Kyle in this very, very episode for throwing 25er the way of the show to keep the show going, because, you know, man, we need money to make this thing happen. So thanks for doing that, going on there and buying us a beer and a round and a suitcase of tasty beverages. beerbluesbs.com. And thanks for, I guess, getting me into trucking too. Oh man, it's gonna be a long night because we're gonna hang up here and then we're gonna go trucking again. Other than that, for this show, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. They're both linked on our website, beerbluesbs.com. But if you're on Facebook or Instagram, search Beer Blues and BS. Please like, please subscribe, please follow. It's free and it doesn't cost you really anything, because all you need to do is click a thumbs up on our posts and help us get in front of people who actually want to see the stuff. Other than that, we are also on every audio platform that's out there, from Podbean to iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb. We are on Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, and probably more. So if you're listening to us, maybe, or wanting to listen to us on an audio platform, search Beer, Blues, and BS, and please subscribe for free. Appreciate that. Other than that, we have the video version of this show on YouTube. If you... Sterling! Hey, Sterling!
There he is.
He's very excited about our YouTube page.
Main character inserting himself. Say hi, Sterling.
He's very, very excited because he is also visible on our YouTube page. Isn't that right, Sterling? Fair enough. Well, thanks for joining us there, Sterling. It's good to see you in the furry flesh here. And you can also see us on the YouTube page by searching Beer, Blues, and BS, or go to youtube.com/beerbluesbs. And again, please subscribe to the channel. Help us get in front of more people and, watch the show. Click the thumbs up like Local Geek does, because, man, he's just a pillar of the community. We've covered quite a bit, and there's more trucking to do, so it's time to hit the old dusty Tuscan highway. So, Local Geek, Rudeboy Kyle, JS Gunslinger, thanks for joining us again for this episode. Good to have you gentlemen here. Good to have Sterling here too.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Looks like he has something to say.
Thanks for, well, he has something to say. I just want to say thank you for having us on, and I'm glad to go 1 for 1 my music competition so far, but looking forward to the next time.
Music golf clap. JS, any final words from the ghost of Jimi Hendrix or anything else over on your end?
More Nickelback songs.
A little bit of dad advice: never give a 5-year-old a machine gun.
Music golf clap. All right. Well, he's Howard Blues. He's looking at something and he's telling me to shut the F up because it's time to GTFO. That's right. It's the end of the show. Thanks for sticking around. And let's wrap this up because the red light's on. There's free beer tomorrow, apparently. And remember to keep your glass at least half full. Have a good one. It's Beer Blues BS. We'll catch you on down that sometimes icy, sometimes wet, sometimes dry Tuscan Highway. Be a bad mother trucker. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us this episode of Beer Blues BS. Arr!
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Let's see. I know JS said he was going to be late.
He's going to a movie.
Doesn't he know it's a podcast night?
You know, people and their priorities.
Oh,
Well, like trucking.
this is the new lawnmower simulator.
It's true. It's true.
But this has multiplayer.
Yeah, so we can be mother truckers together.
All that means is that I'm going to get more and more of Kidder bugging me about Howard when you join in, our trucking simulator. When you coming on in the company.
Yeah, the company that we created from the ground up. Brothers Blue Holland.
Which one are you guys playing?
From the ground up. It is the American Trucking Simulator.
Okay. My brother-in-law has been playing the Euro Truck Simulator, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah. I've got that one too.
Allegedly, it's the same creators and kind of the sort of thing there.
Yeah, it's the same developers.
Basically the same game, but you drive on the other side of the road.
Only in only in Great Britain.